All right. Good evening. I am trying to see here. I cannot see chat. So if anybody's in here, somebody post me a comment and let me know because I'm still not good with this whole StreamYard thing. And I'm not sure if we're talking to just each other or if we got anybody in chat yet. We started a minute early. So, there's my watcher icon finally came up. So we don't have any watchers yet, fellas. That's great news. So we're a little early. So there we go. Oh, Jay's here. Waka waka. Waka waka. That's something I would do, Jay. So I appreciate that. All right. Well, we'll give it a second here before we. There we go. We got a couple eyeballs on there now. So maybe my system's just running behind. So, well, whoever's with us out there, good evening. Welcome to Bullpen Live. Been a while since I've done one of these, and excited to have on. I've got my guys Ross and Trevor, who have been with me for the first two of these. Now the third. We kicked Mike out. Ross said he's going to do enough talking for him and Mike. We didn't need Mike, so we kicked him to the curb. And then
the day.
Yes, today's the day. So and then we brought in Cardboard Coach Neil. Neil, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
And Jay, Average Vintage Collector. Thank you, Jay. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on with us. This is a lot of fun. And if y'all saw, I put in the topics for this. I said, topic, ? We don't need no stinking topics. That's because really I didn't have anything necessarily in particular that I wanted to talk about this evening. But then time got closer. We're talking a little bit, in the green room, if you will, and maybe a couple things we want to talk about. But the first thing I was going to ask is, that guy from Missouri, I can't remember his name, starts with a C, something, Mayor or something. I don't know. He's always talking. But he did bring up a pretty good question that he brought up on one of his shows, and then he brought it up on I watched the Super Bowl live recording after the fact today on my I commute like 45 minutes to work and 45 minutes home. So I got to watch most of the Super Bowl live today, and he brought it up on there as well. So I'll pose it to you guys, but where do you think this collecting thing ends for you guys? Do you see it having an ending, or you in the middle? I'll say for myself, I find myself I'm still in the upswing, right? I'm in the accumulation phase of my collecting. I'm still wanting a big collection. I want to burden my family with just as much crap as I possibly can when I'm gone. Actually, I used to joke with my wife. I was like, sell half my stuff to bury the other half with me, which John, 3080s kid, made the comment on the live last night about being feral-like with his collection. So I think John and I share the same opinion that, I want a big collection, and I don't see myself changing that anytime soon. But Neil, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, kind of the same as you do. I mean, definitely in the upswing. I collect. I'm sure there's some people that collect like I do. Like, to me, the PC, it's like kind of a living, breathing thing. It's always going to change, and you see some stuff, you kind of try it out a little bit, and sometimes it sticks in the whole personal collection. Sometimes it doesn't. I mean, I may own a card for 20 years or more, and then some cards I own for 20 days or less. Just you get them, and I'm not really going to do this anymore, and kind of get rid of it, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm in the accumulation, and I did see Chris's video, and it was a good question. I'm going to keep on doing it as long as I'm having fun, and can afford to do so.
So
let's worry about it later.
Yeah, I think that's a great, and I I have a hard time, or I used to have a harder time letting go of stuff. Neil, to your point, like if I got something and I felt like, I'd still say the vast majority of what comes into my PC stays there. But I've become a little bit more apt to let something go if it doesn't bring me joy anymore. What was the Marie Kondo, the little Japanese lady that did the show on Netflix about tidying up, or what? I think it was Tidying Up with Marie Kondo. If it doesn't bring you joy, let it go. And I think maybe sometimes as collectors, we have a hard time letting go. I will say chat was behind for me, but I see it all now. We got several people in chat. We got Carl from Oz is here. We got Baseball Card Philosophies here. Sven Patrick, John, Nerding Out with Cards. Orlando's in the house. We've got Dave at Peacemaker Cards is here. Oh, Lou Rock's in the house. What's up, Lou? And Orlando, I collected everything most of my life. I'll be 70 this year and have been letting go. Well, I get it. Is that the and
Yeah,
I can only hope that I look as good as you, Orlando, when I'm 70 years old. That's hard to believe.
he does look good.
Yes, yes. Looks it's kind of like Steve over Vintage on Vintage. I tell him all the time I get pissed off at him because he looks half my age and he's retired. So
Yeah.
Anyway, Jay, how do you feel about that question? Where do you think you're at in your collecting life cycle?
I think I'm finally, 3 years into vintage, trying to figure it out. I think I'm in a hoarding stage. And I'd like to, at some point, I think I've always had a really difficult time with focus. And what I'm finding is that with all the wants that I have, like the core wants that I have, I kind of just always get sidetracked and add something else. So like I just had this on a recent video where I said, I'm a quantity over quality guy. And I think in order to like really check some things off my list, I need to get away from the quantity portion and get into the quality portion to check off some bigger cards. So I would like to do that, but I'm having so much fun just adding all the little stuff. I'm not sure where I go, but I would like to eventually, rein it in a little bit and get out of the hoarding stage and actually just say, okay, I don't really want to make a list because the list just keeps growing, but I think there's definitely some core cards that I would really like to obtain and some projects that I'd like to get some headway on. And I think concentrating on those things will, it's still going to be a really long road and a long path. I just need to, I think, rein it in and focus, but there's enough out there to keep me going for who knows how long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you. I think that, like I said, large collection guy, I want it all. I'm like that your mama's so fat joke. She goes in and looks at the menu and says, yes. That's me with cards.
Yeah.
Yes. Joe, do you want to collect this? Yes. Do you want to collect it? Yes. I want to collect it all. So, I do think if you can rein it in and stay more focused, that's great. But you said the key thing there, Jay, is you're having fun, right?
Yeah.
Most important thing.
Right.
And
when I go a little off track and just bring in something else, like there's nothing less fun about it. It's just to me, it's just joy walking in and adding to the collection. So, I'm having a good old time.
There's nothing that says you can't pivot, right? You can sell those things, and if you want to get focused, I could see myself at some point, to like Orlando's point of getting to a certain age, and be like, you know what? Rather than have all this, maybe I want to have a more focused collection. I'm just not there yet, but I'm gonna give myself time. So, Trevor, what do you think about that question?
Well, I'm already downsizing, for lack of a better way of saying it. I've got 30 some Perez Steel autographs at CIA right now. I got a couple of pre-war cards at CIA and a couple of Golden Era cards there, handful of them. So all that's to create space, and I just, you reach the point when you realize I'm never going to have. It's never going to be complete.
Yeah.
And then if it is complete, you're like, well, when was the last time I looked at it? When was the last time I talked about it? When was the last time I shared anything about it or with anybody, So.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. I know we've talked about it. I think Trevor and Ross, I think we've talked about this maybe in some of our chats, is like, how do you, share some stuff? I think that's what we're talking about, the idea of like a coffee table binder, something like that. I think maybe figuring out other ways to enjoy some of your things, because I'm with you, Trevor. I got stuff, some of it's in boxes, and I have to almost I wouldn't say force myself, but I have to go on a journey to like pull that box out, sift through it, and, look at those things that maybe I haven't seen in a while. So if I have to do that, do I really need it? I don't know. It's, part of the journey.
Those Perez Steels, when they're graded, those slabs take up a lot of room, no matter where you're storing them, And so.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, everything takes up room. And how do you store it when they're big like that?
Right.
I just want to throw out here, Lou, if you're still in there, I definitely want to get you on, Lou. I need to get your number, man. I'd love to have you on with us here. That'd be fun. Stephen with a PH is in the house. And Steve, I was talking about you earlier and how you pissed me off, how you look younger than me, but you're retired. So just so you know, I was mouthing you before you got on tonight. So, Ross, how do you feel about that question?
Well, when I take that question, I thought about, when I pass, what is going to happen to my collection? What do I want it to be? What's going to happen? I'm just now in the accumulation stage. There's been some roads I've started to go down, and a couple cards in, I was thinking, I'm not really into that like I thought I would be. So I transition out of that. But I don't plan on ever selling a card that I call in my collection. It has to be in my collection for, 6 months before I actually call it in my collection. I've made mistakes about it and we can qualify it as that. But I've always heard that, families shouldn't make just big decisions within the first 6 months when somebody passes. So after I'm gone for 6 months, I want my wife to have dinner. Then I just got a boy and a girl. Then I want them to have like a snake draft, like you would for the fantasy. One get here, then get the two.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm planning on doing. At that point in time, they could sell it the day before, but a day after. But that's kind of what I would like to see happen.
Sure.
Well, make sure your wife has my phone number and she can call me and I'm paying strong at 35% comps. I'll buy it all.
I was waiting for the zinger.
Industry standard 35%. So, but I like the idea of the snake draft. Whenever one of my kids doesn't seem interested in my collection, I threaten to give it all to the other kid, and then suddenly they're like, "Oh, that's cool. I like it, Dad." That's when they care, when you threaten them, right? So. All right. Well, so that kind of let's kind of segue into something we were talking about before too, and that is what do you guys? How do you guys feel about like pre-war versus post-war? Does one of those have your heart? Like I just talked about, I buy it all, but I like pre-war. I've went down that rabbit hole the last year or so, more so, and I really like it. But I would still say the majority of my collection is going to be golden era forward.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I have a preference. I kind of find myself, going down one direction and then I pivot and I go down another. But I like it all. So I'm probably a bad example to talk about this a lot. But Neil, you were talking about that a little bit. Where's your heart lie?
Yeah, kind of like where yours does. I mean, I like it all too. I mean, I like pre-war, but the golden era to me, it's something like, so for me, the first ever trip, again, I'm a lot older than you guys, so this is before the internet, before price guides and all this other stuff. If you wanted old baseball cards, you went to a card shop, and I didn't even know there was one until I found this one called Joe's Dugout. Joe
Great
was
name.
telling. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that too. I'm starting to figure out your humor here. So Joe, I think he was selling a lot of his stuff that he as a kid, which was from the 50s. So from an early age, the 50s were just it for me. I never saw cards like that before. I just haven't seen cards that beautiful. Like, to me, they're just unbelievable. That everything in the 50s. I love pre-war too, though. But if I had to choose one or the other, I'm more of a golden era guy.
So yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think that it's hard to deny the golden era, right? When you think about, especially like the 50s, I'd say 40s and 50s, even into the 60s. Some great cards, great sets, and honestly, that's a lot of what I thought of as vintage when I was a kid collecting, in the mid to late 80s. So that's it's hard for me to deny that the feeling I get when I see those cards. Jay, what do you think of that?
I definitely think that I lean more towards the golden age. And I think that's just because of, familiarity, I think, with players more than pre-war. But it's funny because, I've got my lifetime top 10 list, right? It's interesting because when I put it together, it's split down the middle. It's 5 of the cards are golden era and 5 of the cards are pre-war. Yeah. So I don't have a lot of pre-war representation in my collection, but because of a couple of different projects that I'm doing, they're definitely a little bit more pricey sometimes, and it's a smaller dip into the pool, right? Like I'm just gonna maybe test the water there. Whereas golden era, I'm more comfortable with, and with the way I collect, like a big part of my collection are veterans of World War II. So a lot of those guys have cards in the golden era. So there's a huge list of cards that I want that represent those players. And a new project will be World War One vets, which is much tougher. Number one, to find out exactly who fought in World War One. There's a lot of big names in World War One.
Mhm.
Ty Cobb, Christy Mathewson, those guys, and those cards are a little bit far from my reach. So I'd like to try and get more involved in pre-war, but I'm really comfortable right now, and the majority of my collection is golden era.
Awesome. That's good stuff. It's I think that's a cool project. I liked your Battle of the Bold series and stuff like that. So I look forward to you doing something similar, maybe with World War One. Right.
That's the plan. We'll see how that works out.
Very cool. I like it. Trevor, what about you?
Well, let me start off by saying the worst baseball card I ever had was wonderful. And
That should be on a T-shirt.
yes. But I find myself going more toward the vintage. Not to be fair, because I think we all start out kind of in the golden era. So still at this point, most of my collection probably is 50s, and later, but I'm drawn more toward pre-war because 50s you got, from the golden era, you got Bowman, you got Topps, you got Fleer, and then you get into post 1980, Fleer, Donruss, Upper Deck. But there's really not, you got exhibits, postcards, pre and post war. But other than that, you don't have as many options as what you do pre-war. You got all the caramel cards, you got all the tobacco cards, you got the Butterfingers, the Sporting Life premiums, the Dixie Lid premiums. You got all those options available to you, and you got more roads to go down to explore. So it's, to me, more interesting to me.
And I can appreciate that because, I feel like, I'm learning about, there's not any golden era sets hardly that I probably haven't heard of or seen or something, but I feel like when it comes to pre-war, I'm learning about something constantly that I had no idea, that it ever existed. So,
Yeah.
Well, also because I focus on players born in Indiana, Indiana has 12 native-born Hall of Famers. There's only 2 of them that played after that are golden era and later, Scott Rowland and Gil Hodges. That's it. All the rest of them are pre-war.
So I've had problems with comments this evening. I don't know, my laptop is giving me some problems, so I apologize. The comments are like coming through in like a rush and then I'm not seeing anything. So Stephen put out there, he's bringing some stuff to Independence to move to help build up his pot. As the Jackie cards he'd like to pick up are very expensive. You ain't kidding. That's an expensive PC you got there, Stephen. So, and then Rob chiming in, Neil and Jay, about time you had some classy guests. Rob and I exchange barbs about things like this all the time. In fact, I think he threatened that he's not coming to Strong Dependence now that I'm coming, and I agree he shouldn't be there. The town's not big enough for the 2 of us, Rob. Mike, Darren Peterson pushed it up again, is setting out tonight's game. Mike is watching some basketball game, so
Is Mike Jayhawk watching?
Yes. Hold on. He called me earlier and he was talking about how he needed to have that, Neil. I told him that.
Well, it's funny because it's a very rare card. It's a 1934 Jayhawker. Butterfinger Lefty Grove. So
it's about time. We're like 20 minutes in. We hadn't shown a card yet. So thanks for that, Neil. We needed to show something. We forgot we were even talking about that. So
I had to do it,
Yeah. Lou, definitely I got to get your number. Let's see. Steven says he'll be 65 next week. Yeah, baby. Happy early birthday, Steven. That's awesome.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Don't be nice to Rob in the comments, y'all. Let him be.
Hey, y'all.
Oh, Nick Chen's in here. Sorry, I'm catching up on all these comments that came through, for all that time we were talking there. So I apologize. Steven likes your polar bear hat, Trevor. And then Rob, of course, horrible name for a card shop. Ha ha ha. Because he was Joe. I'm going to send him a nasty text after this. John, Nerding Out Cards, all eras of cards are great. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
There's Mark Santucci's in the house. What's up, Mark? And he likes the 70s. Yes, sir. 80s are good
70s,
too,
good
Mark.
stuff.
I agree. Oh, Mr. Fisher Bike's in the house. And I'm so far behind on comments. So apologize, y'all. My laptop is not the greatest. We're almost caught up here. I like to show the comments so everybody, can see I know I'm moving quick. Mark's asking which players do you like better, 58 Shantz, or 78 Cooper and 78 Evans? I'm going with Shane Dienst and Shantz, but I like those 70s cards too. Okay, we're caught up, or at least on my screen we're caught up. So apologies, Ross. That question now moves to you. Where are you at? Pre-war, golden era? I think I know the answer, but
I am golden era. I've got on my top 10 cards. Two cards that I think the best looking is the 86 Topps Traded Bo Jackson and the T205 Christy Mathewson.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of wide range, but
yeah, both great though.
But vintage, the post-war is where I'm at. I would like to get that card of Christy Mathewson. After reading a book about him, if I get some funds, I wouldn't mind doing a player run, like my selection of a run of his. Some cards I'll get and some cards I won't. But so other than him, I could be persuaded to, maybe like a Rube Waddell or something like that. But I'm going to focus mainly on post-war, say the 48 to 63, somewhere in there.
Those are good years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I was talking about we weren't showing very many cards, so I'm going to break out I'm going to show my most recent post-war pickup and my most recent pre-war pickup. If you guys on here want to pull something out, I'll go to you next, but I'll show this. I just got this today. I was showing before we went on live. This showed up at a penny sleeve, and it was completely destroyed. The envelope was completely destroyed, and I got some glare. This is probably the nicest 1953 card I in my collection for sure, but probably I've ever held in my hand. So this card is at least EX Mint 6, if not near mint. This thing is crazy, and I got it for a steal. So excited to have that. And then I've got this about a week ago, and I'll taunt this. I think this might be for you also, Mike, if you're interested and you need a 34 Gowdy Lefty Grove. This is an extra one because I already have one in my collection, but I got a really good deal on this, and it's low grade. It's been tacked in. You can see there it's got a little bit of paper loss, but still an awesome card. So
That's a great card.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But you guys want to show something? You got to show some cards.
Sure.
Who's up?
Let Jay go.
All right.
Let Jay go. All right.
Here we go,
So,
Jay. You got the
I
con.
don't have my most recent or my most recent one, but I do have. I pulled out some pre-war and post-war just because I knew that we were going to talk about this a little bit, and I can't really go without ever showing this one. So I'll show it again. I'm sure people have seen it, but as far as pre-war goes, let me fix this light. This was a card that I picked up. This is my gold card last year. Hank Greenberg. This project that I'm doing, I'm trying to do a Hall of Fame run for the Diamond Star set. Absolutely love Hank Greenberg. Love that card. Love that image. So again, I talk about pre-war. I don't really have too many. The Hubble is also there.
I love it.
Yep. Again, just another fantastic image. And then this Pie Trainer, really like that one as well.
Yes.
So I really like the look of those cards. I know some people don't really like that Art Deco style, but there was something about that set that really set it apart from the others for me. Now, that's as far back as I go for pre-war. I'd like to go further back than that, but, that's something that's going to be in the future. I did start putting together the 60 tops set. That's my new set build that I'm putting together. So I have some examples, and I love this set. Just absolutely love.
One of my favorite Maris cards right there.
Yeah, I mean, I love the color scheme. I love the images. Just fantastic. And I don't buy all graded, but I only pulled out most of my graded stuff tonight.
Hey, Rob's calling you out. He said Jay isn't so average. Look at those cards. I think he's calling you a poser.
Well, it just so happens that I figured that Rob would be here, so I pulled out a couple just for him. There's the bench there, which I love. I think that's his best card. I love that card. And we'll how about a rose? We'll put a 67 rose in there too.
Jay stealing my thunder.
sorry. But the golden era. I mean, I just really enjoy, picking up just the cards. I think are just fantastic in the golden era. And this is one of my Battle of the Bulge guys. There's Monty Irvin.
Nice.
Just kind of pulled out a little bit of everything. Duke is I really like Duke Snyder. There's a good one. Which
Those
I don't really.
50s.
Yeah. I got quite a few of the 50s there. This guy was, I think, one of the first cards I ever sent into grade.
Oh, nice.
Came back, I don't really care about the grade itself, but I wanted it kind of I love the way that they present in a slab. Another Battle of the Bulge guy would be Hank Thompson, which I love that card.
I love that card. Hey, Nick's asking, how close are you to finishing your 73 set?
I have 14 cards to go. It's going to be complete pretty soon. So
nice.
I think the biggest card I got left to get in there is Thurman Munson. And that's not really an expensive card, but that's probably the biggest name that's left. Everything else is a go. So there's really not too much more. The 60 is going to take a while, but that's part of the fun of it, right? The 73 took me almost 4 years to complete, and it's an easy, obtainable, affordable set. It's just that I took my time with it, and like I said, with distractions and just kind of getting distracted and going from one thing to the next, it just kind of puts it, to the wayside. But I enjoy doing it. I enjoy collecting the way that I do. So I know eventually I'll get there with the sets. It's just it's a long game for me.
Awesome. Great stuff, man. Neil, Rob was calling you out. He said you need to show some Peter Edward Rose cards.
Yeah, I saw that comment. I did pull out one, but I got a couple. That are in arm's reach. I'll show for Rob. Rob likes the Reds. I'm a huge Rose fan, as you can see from this jersey behind me. Ever since he came to the Phillies, I've just been a fan. But here's getting into the team issues. This is 69, I think it is. Yeah, 69 team issue. These things are so cheap. The card I was going to show, this is my only Diamond Star that Jay collects. And I do like the Art Deco style, but I'll get back to Rose. Let me see. Here's a 73 MVP year, 67. My favorite, I think it's my favorite issue in the 60s. And I thought about doing this set raw. Thinking about it. We'll see what happens. I'm not a set guy. I tried it before and gave up. I just don't have the patience, but who knows? Here's another 67, but this is a Venny Rose.
Nice.
And which I think is a pretty high grade for Venezuela.
For sure.
It's got a nice back. So this was never really put into an album. But you can see the color difference with the tops, and the muted color for the Venny. But Pete, I'm hoping he gets into the Hall of Fame soon or one day. I think he should have been in, but we'll see. But and then Jay, here's my only Hubble. You had a Hubble.
Yeah.
If you want something, I'll tell you these. This is a 1932 Giants postcard schedule back. These things are cheap, and it's a vintage, awesome pose. Something you don't really see. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah, check that out.
Awesome stuff. Ruben said, I just arrived. Can we start over? So, we lost Ross and he's back. There we go. And then I got to show one card here. Mark was calling out. He was asking for this card. It took me a minute. I had to look for it here. But there you go. There's my 89. That's my childhood 89 Upper Deck Griffey. And it got a 9. Probably deserves a 10. But it's one of my favorite. My childhood, my favorite player. So I had to
That's
show
an
that
iconic card.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, absolutely, positively. So, all right. And Trevor's back as well. Let's hope this doesn't, we don't have any audio issues now.
Oh,
Audio issues started.
We good?
Yep, we're good.
Okay.
Who's up next? Who wants to show some cards?
go Ross.
Okay. Thought I got 3 cards that ordered, I guess it was last week but anyways, got these 3 in. Thought I'd got separate video I'm going to do of them. This is one of my favorite cards. I remember pulling a card like this when I was first opening packs. 93 Leaf Bo Jackson. Now my copy is still in my binder at my mom and dad's house, and thing's pretty well rough as a cob. But so I wanted to have one of those. Next card I got is a 1956 Joe Black when he played for Cincinnati. I thought this was a special card. Joe Black said when he was a rookie, he was nervous to go in. He said he was afraid he wasn't going to find, Campy or Jackie when he walked into the Dodgers clubhouse. And he said he grabbed that door like 3 or 4 times, and he finally just went ahead and went in. And he said his worst fear, nobody he'd known was there. But said Preacher Rowe came over and welcomed him, introduced him, showed him where everything was, where he needed to go. And he said later on that he got to return the favor to Sandy Koufax. And not only that, when he was in Cincinnati, he said he got to return the favor to him. Frank Robinson is who he got to return the favor of there. And the last one is a 1954 Topps of a Milwaukee Brave, a rookie card with the color orange of the back. And that's my favorite rookie card that I have. Now, I'm sure not anybody was surprised that I went with Bob Buell there. No, I tell you what, looking at this 54 Bob Buell, this may be the most underrated card there is as far as looks. I tell you what, I just really like that card. But that's 3 I got to show. It was handy.
All right.
Nice stuff,
Good
Ross.
Yeah, that is. And Ross, I like your stories. I like your
thanks,
stories
yeah.
about that when you're talking about the player and just things that happen. To me, it's interesting. I like
Look, the connections. Those are awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Trevor, show us something.
Well, my most recent pre-war acquisition is a
nice.
1914 B18 blanket of Patty Ballman. It's the uncorrected error because they left out the second N on his name. But his only other option for an image with him is the 1912 T207 set. So it's either this or T207. And then my most recent post-war acquisition showed up today.
It made it.
Yeah, 52 Topps Dizzy Trout. But I mean, I've got a stack probably a foot high of pre-war cards. I mean, just because got a 1911 OBAC,
Nice.
Pacific Coast League, and then got a Sporting Life M116. That's Babe Adams. He was born in Indiana. There's a T207 of Doc Crandall. He's born in Indiana. Here's a 1939 W711-1 of Bucky Walters.
I like that card. That's a cool
Yeah.
image.
Yeah,
Played for
really
the-
beauty.
That's basically their team issue for 39.
Yeah.
You got the T206s. That's Doc Crandall again with Sovereign back.
Nice.
You got 1910 Philadelphia Caramel E96. That's Babe Adams again. You got the T205s. That's Rebel Oaks. I thought I'd throw a St. Louis player in
There we go. Yeah, some Rebel Oaks.
Then you got all the Z-Nut cards. There's a 1913 Z-Nut of Claude
Those
Bear.
are awesome.
Yeah,
Naturally.
those are cool.
Yeah.
You get a 1916 M101-4. This one's blank back. Rolly Zider, born in Indiana. Then pre-war, you got all the strip cards. You got a 1919 to 21 W514. That's Sam Crawford.
Oh, nice.
You got caramel card E121 of Everett Scott. Everett Scott's from Indiana, and he was Lou Gehrig. Before Lou Gehrig, he had the consecutive game streak that Lou broke.
Oh.
Didn't even realize he had it until after the fact. W575-2 of Art and F. That's a blank back. That's a strip card, though.
That's
But
a nice image.
Has an actual picture. Then 1925 Turf Cigarettes. And that card, that's George
cool.
at bat. And then Everett Scott again was in the W512 strip cards. Not my favorite, but it shows him as a Yankee. 27, you had York Caramels. That's Eugene Bubbles Hargrave, born in Indiana, and he was the National League batting champ for 26. You got all the Goudies. There's a 34 Chuck Klein.
I love that card.
Yeah.
And then 34 down here on this one, it says Lou Gehrig says, but at some point it switches to red and it says Chuck Klein says. Then you got the Diamond Stars. There's Luke Apple. You got the 1939 to 41 play ball sets. That's a 39 there. That's Merrill May. He was born in Indiana. And then you got a 711-2.
Nice.
That's a
Ernie-
cool image too.
That's the 1940 Reds team issue. Then you get into the oversized stuff. You got the blankets. You got 36 Goudy wide pin.
Yep.
Or Hildebrand. You get 28 exhibits of Cy Williams. He's born in Indiana. Hall of Famer Max Carey on a 21 exhibit, born in Indiana. You get great cards like the Fatima cigarettes. That's the Reds, so that has Mordecai Brown and Tinker was the manager. Here you go, Rob. 29 Cashin of Ed Roush.
Wow.
And you got the 1911 T201 Mecca cigarettes, the double headers. 1939 Goudy Premium. It's Billy Herman, Hall of Famer, born 30 minutes down the road from where I'm at right now. And the backs have the how-to series. You could get a 36 R312 National Chickle Pastels.
Wow, those are cool.
That's such a great set. Those are awesome.
Those are awesome.
And then going, this here's a 39 Cubs team issue picture pack. That's John Cord, and he was a coach, but he was born in Indiana. And you get into the 1940s early, a lot of times the team picture packs is all the options you have, but that's how many different roads you can go down and collect and get into sets and players and Hall of Famers out of the sets, and that's why I'm drawn more to it. You know, there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with
There's a
the
few choices there, Trevor. Just a few.
yeah
Yeah.
yeah.
That was a road trip through pre-war. That was pretty.
Yeah,
freaking-
that's pretty awesome. I will point out that
It was.
I got this not too long ago. Yours has me in the eye appeal department, Trevor. My Chuck Klein is a little worse for wear, but I gave like next to nothing for it. But it's pretty rough. And then I will point out, Trevor showed his Dizzy Trout. We pull off a trade, but it's like one of those. It's like a baseball trade, right? There's still either a player to be named later or cash considerations, because all I sent him was the Trout, and he sent me. I got a Willard Nixon here for my 57 set, but he also sent me this beautiful 57 Gil Hodges. Look at that guy.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. So thanks, Trevor. I'm glad sent me those, and yeah, I still owe you. We got to come up with something there to make that even. So, all right. So appreciate everybody in chat. I was trying to keep up. This is a lot of fun. I love you guys chatting in and kind of hanging out with us. One thing that came up further back in the chat was our buddy Jayhawker Mike. Talked about, I guess when we were showing the Groves there, Neil, he said, you guys are going to run me out of my budget before I even get to Strongsville, which I think is a great segue to stuff that we were talking about before we came on tonight. And that's, how do you all approach, you're going to a big show, let's say it's Strongsville, Strong Dependence, whatever you call it, the National, and you're saving and you're saving and you're saving. Are you passing on cards that you want? Are you not looking? Because for me, I have this mantra, I guess, that if I find a deal that if it was sitting on a table at a show, whether it be the National or Strongsville or whatever, and I wouldn't pass it up there, why would I pass it up? You all know me, eBay is kind of my place. Why would I pass it up on, eBay? So I'm going to buy it. I'm going to go probably end up at Strong Dependence with not a big budget because of the things that I've been buying now, because I can't justify passing them up. They're too good at deals. But I have a lot of respect for those of y'all that can just lock in, save your money, and pass everything up and go to a show. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer, but how do you all approach it? Neil, what do you think?
I approach it very similar to what you had just said. I do like buying at shows. You get to see the card. You're going to a card show. You want to make sure the dealer, is selling cards. Otherwise, there wouldn't be any. But if it's a card that I've been looking for, I'm just gonna buy it. If it comes up on an eBay or an auction house or Facebook, whatever it is, card shop, I'm gonna buy it. That's just all there is to it. I'm not gonna count on that card being at the show. I do want to have some money for a show, so you can come away with something. But in terms like the big budget, I mean, if something becomes available, I'm buying it before the show.
Yep. Sounds like we think a lot alike on that.
Yeah.
Now, Jay, I'm not going to give anything away, but it sounds like Jay has this kind of dilemma he's facing right now, right, Jay?
So last year, Strongsville was the first show that I'd ever gone to that was that size. And I know that that's not a big show. It's not considered a big show, but it was the biggest show I'd ever been to. And I saved mine, for months and months. I think like 6 months. Didn't buy a thing, took all my money there, spent all my money there, and that was that. And this year I'm approaching it a little bit differently. And I may obtain very shortly my gold card ahead of time of the show. And I think it's just a move where I think, like Joe, you touched on it, where if it's there and you get a good deal on it, why would you wait for the show? And in the back of my mind, I'm even saying maybe I get the card, right? And if I get the card, I'm still going to probably bring it to Strongsville. And the only reason I would do that is if I saw the same card, maybe a little bit better than what I wanted to, and it was a deal that I could make, I could use that card to upgrade the card and still walk away with the same card. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm definitely going to most likely go there this year with a smaller budget. But I'm pretty sure, I'm working on it. It may happen very soon. I'll if it does, I'll definitely have a video on it. But
We hope so.
I'm definitely approaching it a little bit differently this year, and I'm gonna pretty much, if it's there, if something's there before the show, I'm not gonna really hesitate to pull the trigger.
Awesome. I can't wait to see what it is. Hope it all works out. You get the one you want, the price you want, all that. I think it's great. Before we move on, I would say Mark threw in there when the panel goes to Strongsville, in addition to baseball, anybody buying football or hockey? I would say there's always a chance that I might pick something up because vintage football is so underpriced and underrated. There's a chance I could buy something like that, but most likely baseball for me. Any of you guys going to be looking at anything other than baseball at the show?
69 Topps football. I'm putting that set together if I can get some cheap stuff. And I'm actually looking forward to going on the other side of the curtain and getting some modern hockey, which I'm really big into, specifically looking for like autos of some bigger name guys like Ovechkin or somewhere around there. I'd like to walk away with something there because they're relatively reasonable as well. So
that's fun. Trevor was talking about he wants to go get some special illustration rare Pikachus at the show. He was really hyped about that. I know.
Well, watching Finn's video last week, I realized why Strongsville does not bother you in the least. Being
oh yeah, I'm steeped in it.
Yeah.
Those of you who don't know, my son started a YouTube channel. It's called Finn to Win. You can look it up, and he's showcasing his Pokemon collection on the old Finn to Win channel.
Yeah, and he was ratting Dad out for Dad always ripping his packs and not letting him rip them. So
I've pulled a couple big cards without him because I'm a degenerate sometimes. I'm like, I'll open a pack, I'll buy a box, and I'll open it. And man, he was pissed. He still hadn't forgiven, especially since we both pulled the big card. Mine graded a 10 and his was only a 9. He's never letting me forget that. So anyway, so Trevor, for real though, how about you? You're mainly a baseball guy, right? You gonna be looking for anything other than baseball at the show?
Well, as of now, I'm not going, so I won't be looking for anything there as of now. But if I were to go, I might I'd look for baseball first, and then maybe if didn't see anything that was high on my list or that I wanted, I might circle around to basketball and maybe a Dr. J rookie or a Bird.
That'd be cool. It's a great card.
Dr. J, something like that. But for the most part, it would be baseball.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's pretty hard for me. I mean, trying to collect Indiana players, it's almost a never-ending list, But,
as prefaced by all the cards you showed us, it's like there's just too many rabbit holes, right?
oh yeah.
Ross, what about you? You going to be looking for anything other than baseball?
Could be boxing, a 49 Leaf Joe Louis.
Oh, that's a cool card. It's a beautiful card. Yeah.
Maybe a Bill Russell. That's a pretty well a maybe. That'd cut on my budget pretty good. So, but those are the kind of the two cards, I'd be thinking of.
Yeah.
Neil, what about you?
I don't really. Well, I'm not going to Strongsville either. I mean, I may drive out. Who knows? Just to go to the trade night, and then just drive home. But it's. I dabble a little bit in football, but it's just Eagles, just Philadelphia Eagles. So if there's a cool Eagles card out there, I'd pick it up.
You might have to have it. I get that. All right. Very cool. Well, Trevor, what about you? When it comes to a show, even if it's not Strongsville, just a show, are you saving for it, or are you pulling the trigger on the card when you find it?
It depends on how easy it is to find that card.
Good point.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a rare card or a scarce card, or however you want to say it, one you don't see at every show or on eBay or any of the sites all the time, then I'm going to pull the trigger when the opportunity's there. But if it's a card that, I might spend a little bit more getting it later, I'm not going to pay the opportunity cost by getting it now and not being able to have those funds available at the show where I don't know what's going to be there.
Yeah, that's true.
Great point. Ross, what about you?
Well, it depends if my wife's around on how I'd answer that. when
Good
I
answer.
went to St. Louis, was going to the St. Louis show, was going to go up Friday. I'd set aside $250 because I didn't know that show was going to be like that. But anyways, so I'd set aside $250, and I actually Thursday night I bought the Roger Maris, the '68 Roger Maris Venezuelan card, and like a PSA 2, and I think it just bought it for like just shade over $200, and of course there's taxes and shipping and everything. It was pretty well all the way to 250 by the time it was said and done. And had a talk with my wife that night. I said, I'm going that way anyways. I've got a motel room. I might as well take $250 with me. And if I don't find anything I can't live without, I'll bring it back. And I spent that 250 and had to borrow 10 off a Jayhawker to be able to pay my bill. So anyways, if you ask her, I probably need to wait until the show, because once I kind of set my budget, I need to have that much to go to that show with. They're just going to be throwing me off. So, but I would definitely probably go ahead. If I was a man of reason, I would go ahead and buy a card if I would buy it at the show, buy it beforehand.
Yep, that's like I said. That's kind of my mantra. At least that's how I talk myself into spending the money that I do. But that kind of brings me to another point. I'd love to hear y'all's point on. But for me, if I do go into savings mode, like if I'm just really trying to be like just good, like I'm not saving for a show, but I'm just trying to rein in spending, right? Because we all Mike Jayhawker just put in there is Ross will admit he often comes down with sports card itis. If y'all haven't seen Mike's video on sports carditis, check it out. But I know I'm afflicted by that, right? So if I'm trying to, I'm no good at quitting cold turkey, I guess is what I'm saying. Like I have to be picking up something, like even if it's literally like $3 ultra modern cards of one of my St. Louis Cardinals. Like I bought a Jordan Walker, because I still believe in Jordan Walker. I believe in fairy tales, right? He's only 23 years old. I still like him. I bought a $3 blue, some kind of blue foil board card out of a set the other day. If I quit cold turkey, I almost become disconnected from the hobby. I can still come down and sort my cards and have fun, but if I'm not participating by picking up some new things and like even little incremental bites, then I really feel disconnected from the hobby, and it makes me lose interest a little bit. Neil, how about you?
I agree. Yeah, completely. I mean, I think that's probably the reason we have channels. We love the hobby.
Great point.
It's I'll tell myself too. It's like, all right, I'm done. I'm not doing anything else for another week, 2 weeks, a month, and 2 days later, or less. And it's usually less, 2 hours sometimes. You see someone's video and just like, oh my God.
Oh yeah.
And I'll be listening. My wife will be watching TV, and I'm sitting there on my phone with the headset, and I'm trying to do both, but I'm watching a video, and then I'm on eBay looking for that certain thing, and it's just what we do. So, yeah.
That or a safe search that hasn't had a hit in 6 months, all of a sudden,
And then bam,
Boom, comes up. Yeah.
that's the luck, right?
Yeah. That's the truth.
So, Jay, how do you feel about that? Are you able to quit cold turkey, or do you find yourself you got to go back and
Absolutely not. I slow down, and when I say slow down, it's like 4 days, and then I just jump on like eBay or whatnot, which is just terrible. Don't ever download that onto your phone. It's too easy, and there's really, it's just insane. But I'll find myself sometimes stopping in at like this little monthly show, and I'll take $20 with me, knowing that I'm not going to find anything. But I found a 10-cent card box the one time I went there, and I just went through and I picked up all these 90s hockey cards and walked out with a huge grin on my face. Was like, yes, all right, I am fulfilled right now.
Yeah.
And then, that I bought a $3 Jay Buhner card the other day that I really didn't need, but I like Jay Buhner, and it was $3, and I hadn't bought anything in a few days, so I just went ahead and did it. But yeah, I think that might be an addiction for me. Sports carditis is a real thing.
Yeah, definitely a real thing. Hey, Jay Buhner, I haven't sent him anything yet, but I got to dig out one of his rookie cards or something. But he TTMs for $5. I'm definitely getting a Jay Buhner autograph.
That's awesome.
he's one of my favorites growing up. You know, being a Griffey Jr. fan and as a Cardinal fan, but Griffey Jr. was my guy. So then I loved Seattle. I loved Randy Johnson, Jay Buhner, all those guys. So
Yeah.
can't go wrong with a Jay Buhner card.
Yeah.
No.
Trevor, what about you? Are you able to quit cold turkey?
No. Why would you even ask?
Well, you know, it's for conversation.
He's the moderator.
No. And the bad part is when you go on the cheap end, like if you're buying, you know, $1.50 cards off eBay and you have a winter storm like we had and you'd ordered spent $30 on 20 cards, all 20 of them hit the same day, and your wife thinks you spent a fortune, you know. So it's no. No, I can't quit cold turkey. I mean, like Saturday, I went to the little antique store here in town because there's a guy that has cards set up there, and I spent, you know, 50 cents card, and I got $6-7 worth out of the 50-cent boxes of stuff, and you know, it's not happening, you know.
Oh yeah, you can have fun. It's been a while since I've been to the antique store here in town, but there's more than one. But last time I went, I was like, I got to find something. I'm digging through all their overpriced stuff, and I found like a beautiful 1962 Ralph Houck, like, you know, tops. It's, oh man, how much? It was like $2. It's like, oh, this is going home with me. Yeah. I get almost as much enjoyment from that as I can, you know, a $200 card. Steve, Vintage on Vintage put on there, I'm buying cards while listening. That
Yeah, I saw that. I started laughing.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
And Matt over at the card store, I haven't bought a card in 4 days, and I'm starting to not feel well. Matt, see a physician, or in this case, see eBay or the quickest auction house.
Yeah.
So, Ross, go ahead, Trevor. Go ahead.
I'm so bad. We have a lady that delivers our mail that knows my wife pretty well, and one day she goes, "Does he ever sell anything, or does he just buy?" You know, I'm like, oh my gosh. The last thing I need is her chiming in, you know.
Not very much outgoing, but tons of incoming, right?
Yeah. The post office would be worried if I quit buying. They might have to let people off around here. You know?
Yeah. I bought more stamps since I started TTMing back in October than I have, like, maybe my entire adult life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mail anything, and all of a sudden I'm buying stamps every other week. Ross, what about you?
I can't moderate, you know. I can't go cold turkey. Yeah. Something I have done that's kind of helped is I buy an Akeem Olajuwon every Sunday evening.
There you go.
You know, I may do it Saturday. Maybe I can't wait till Sunday evening, but this year that was one of my goals, is to buy 50, you know, one a week. So I'll probably go ahead and buy 52 to keep with it. But just kind of scratches the itch and maybe not make me jump off the deep end as quick.
There you go.
Awesome. I like it. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a big card. It can be those small cards that bring us joy. So
That's what PCs are built on.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Absolutely. Right. You know, I mean, all these boxes I'm surrounded with, most of them aren't big cards, you know, they're small cards that just bring a smile when I flip through them. So
Not buying cards can, you know, it leads to mood swings and overeating and impulsiveness. So
that's right. You know, I'll be honest with you. There has been times I've been at work and I'm trying not to eat, you know, bad for lunch. I'm like, man, if I go to McDonald's or wherever I go, it's going to be like 10 or 12 bucks. I could skip that and I could buy a card on eBay for $10. I've done that more times than I can count, trying to use it as almost like a diet mechanism.
Yeah.
But
I need to have you talk to my wife. If I fast for the day, she'll let me spend $8 to $10 all day.
Yeah, look at that. That might be.
I don't get many $8 to $10, but that's kind of a rule we have.
You know, you look a lot skinnier, Ross, than since your last video.
Yeah.
Trying to get a big card.
Yeah. Storing up for Strongsville.
Yeah, there you go.
That is awesome. Well, fellas, we've been on here for almost an hour.
Yeah.
This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it has been.
We managed to show off some cards, and we've tackled the world's problems, and, you know, hit all the hard hitting, dramatic things that the hobby has to offer. Any closing thoughts or comments from anybody?
If there's a card out there that you want and that you know who I'm talking to, talking to Jay, just do it. Just do it. It's a great card.
What he's trying to say is, Mike, don't be such a pussy. Just buy the card.
Well, that too, but
I expect to see
That's
the
a hell of a
screen-
closing statement right there.
Yeah, I expect to see the screenshot of the PayPal receipt from Neil's phone here before we get off this call. So, well, I want to appreciate everybody in the chat that's hung out with us tonight. I think we got up to like 24 viewers at one point, so we really appreciate that.
nice.
For those of y'all that decided to hang out with us and listen to us to talk, we appreciate those that took the time. So, with that being said, I think we're going to wrap this thing up. Appreciate everybody. Appreciate you guys for coming on with me.
Bye, buddy.
Oh, thank you, Joe.
Yeah, been a lot of fun.
That was
Till
fun.
the next one, we'll see
Yeah.
y'all.
You got it.
Bye.